Suspensions, and Maniconi in the number 8 shirt returns after injury. Well, the loss of Mancini is a major blow, of course, to Sampdoria's hopes. In his absence, through suspension, Bertorelli comes into the side. He'll be the one outright striker, supported mainly by Platt and Gullit. Rossi is still injured, so Serena continues in the Sampdoria side, wide on the left. Two teams whose aspirations for the months ahead are high, with Inter hoping to find the form of last season, where they lost only one of their last 21 matches in Serie A, and Sampdoria seeking this afternoon their 6th away win to take over from Milan at the top. Milan, as you've heard, playing in the World Club Championship final yesterday and losing as well to Sao Paulo of Brazil. Well, Ray Wilkins is alongside me in the commentary position today. Ray, what are your thoughts on the prospects for this encounter?
Well, good afternoon, Peter. Good afternoon, everybody. I think this one, it really does have all the ingredients to be a classic game. The one bit of misfortune that we have is the fact that Mancini won't be playing, possibly one of the most creative players in Italian football. But we do have an Inter side coming off the back of their victory over Norwich, and we must give immense congratulations to Norwich. They put up a fantastic performance, but they went down 1-0, and Bergkamp seems to be the man that's knocking in the goals at the moment for Inter. He really did look a bit impressive when he got through. Let's hope we see a lot more of that this afternoon. I think we're in for a very, very good game.
And just looking through the Inter side there, Delano, who played so well in the second half against Norwich, hasn't made the starting lineup. He's among the substitutes today, with Maniconi returning.
Yes, quite right, Peter. I thought Delano played very well in the second half. He kept the game going. He kept probing for Inter when they got in front, especially. But Maniconi is rated very, very highly by the Italians of Inter, and they pulled him straight back in.
Sampdoria then without Mancini. That is going to be a major setback for them without him linking so well with Platt and with Gullit. And they've also got one or two other injury problems, so there are a couple of youngsters on the bench. Not too many options there for coach Sven-Göran Eriksson.
I think the thing with Mancini, Peter, is the fact that he is so creative, and when you're going to be put under a bit of pressure playing away from home, you need that little bit of respite and someone that can put their foot on the ball and do a little bit of something for you. And Mancini is the man as far as Sampdoria are concerned. I don't really see anybody else that can come in and be as creative as him. But they are a very, very good away side. Ruben Gullit there in the picture beforehand is in magnificent form. I'm really looking forward to watching him play this afternoon. But it should be an intriguing match.
Gullit back at the San Siro, of course. Well, he was so successful from his Milan days, and also Ivani, who's on loan to Sampdoria from Milan, also returning to the San Siro this afternoon. And there is Dennis Bergkamp, scorer of both goals in the 2 legs against Norwich, and he's got 7 goals in the UEFA Cup this season, just 4 in Serie A, and a couple of those I think have been penalties.
Still an incredible record already, Peter. We know we're only halfway through the season. He's got 11 goals already in all competitions, and that really is good going for someone that's just come in with someone with an immense reputation that people will be trying to mark him very tightly. But he appears to be getting away from him. He appears to be learning the Italian game, which is very, very tight marking, and he really does seem to be coming onto his game.
12 goals in 23 outings for Inter Dennis Bergkamp so far this season. Although the feeling is he still hasn't totally settled into the side in the way of playing things that the Inter coach Bagnoli has. Anyway, it's Sampdoria who kick off in the lighter shirts, attacking the goal to our right. There's Maniconi. Before that by Antonio Paganin. 2 Paganins in the Inter side today. Antonio wearing 3, and Massimo, his brother, wearing the number 5 shirt. Now here's Gullit, the first assault of the game from Sampdoria. Gullit laid off, and Jugovic arriving, and he scuffed his shot then completely.
Oh, word, that was unbelievable. What a great start, Peter. It was actually Massimo Paganin who come over the top of Gullit with a good header and got called out on the ball coming back. But I thought Ruben Gullit would have gone himself there, cut in and had a go himself, but he elected to square it, and Jugovic was a bit unfortunate, miscuing in the penalty area.
This is Battistini, the sweeper in the Inter side. Challenged by Fontelan. David Platt just limping there. This is Manini, who himself has been troubled by injury this week and nearly didn't make the game. He hasn't trained for the past couple of days because of a back complaint. Ivani operating in the central midfield area for Sampdoria. This is Lombardo. Closed down quickly, though, by Antonio Paganin. Now, Ruben Sosa and Manini with the covering tackle. Manicone plays in the filter role for Inter as the header flashes across the goal and harmlessly away from Pagliuca's point of view. Surprisingly, only the one clean sheet so far from Pagliuca, and he looked a little shaky last week in the Genoa derby when he was certainly responsible for Genoa's goal after only 38 seconds.
Yeah, they certainly have been the team to watch, actually, Peter, and not only as far as scoring goals, but they have conceded a number of goals as well, and they really do give entertainment value to Sampdoria.
Top scorers in Serie A so far this season with 27. This is Bertarelli, who's come in then for Mancini. A rare start for Bertarelli, only his second in Serie A this season. Orlando wearing 7 for Inter, and he's been switched around this season. He's played at left back, and now he's back in his more familiar role, wide on the right.
And I'm sure he'd be quite pleased about that as well, Peter, because I thought at left back he had a couple of indifferent matches, in actual fact, getting called out quite a bit, and he'll be absolutely delighted to be back in a more familiar role.
Manicone. It goes Platt ahead of Bergkamp. Now Bergkamp wide to Serena, who will patrol that left side. And a free kick given to Inter for the foul on Sosa, taken quickly. Here's Bergkamp. Away from Manini, Fontelan to Bergkamp again. Now feeding Manicone, Paganin rather, and then the foul by Sacchetti on the Fontelan.
Well, that nice bright football, Peter. We saw Sosa fouled, he got the ball down, and Bergkamp made a great run for him. Yes, it's definitely a foul there, the shirt's being pulled, but Sosa was very, very bright, and him and Bergkamp do think along the same lines, and they're very intelligent players.
Sosa whipping over the free kick towards Battistini! Oh, it's a superb header by Battistini, and Inter have taken the lead.
Oh, what a great start. Battistini is a superb header of the ball. He was a midfield player and a goal-scoring midfield player, but since being put in the sweeper role, he does come forward for every free kick. And what a great delivery from Ruben Sosa. A lot of whip on the ball, a lot of pace, and Battistini attacked it superbly at the far post. There we see the ball going in. There we go to Battistini. That's a fantastic header across the face of Pagliuca.
It's actually his first goal of the season, Battistini. He tucked 5 away in the last campaign, but that is his first successful header in Serie A this season, and no chance for Pagliuca. Even a goalkeeper of his class couldn't reach that one.
That was a great header. All the textbooks say head it back where it's come from, and that was absolutely perfect.
As you say, Ray, really attacked the ball then, Battistini. So Inter in front. The perfect start for them, and off goes Bergkamp now. A chance to show his pace. Being tugged back by Serena. Still Bergkamp. And Manini to the rescue.
God, he's an exciting player, isn't he? That was absolutely terrific. He just saw the space in behind and decided to go for it. And he really does have a lot of pace, Bergkamp. It was a great run. He was pulled back twice, but he still managed to, with his enormous body strength, to get through.
Inter ahead with only 4 minutes played. And it's Sosa now with the corner. Pagliuca thought about coming for it. And it was Bergkamp who headed away for another corner. A really bright opening here by Inter. Starting the game in 5th place. 3 points behind Sampdoria, who themselves are a point behind Milan.
Yeah, they're tough balls for goalkeepers then, Peter. The thing with Sosa, he whips them in so fast, and if a goalkeeper's going to come, he's got to make sure that it's going to be his, otherwise he's going to be lumbered in no man's land.
Here's Bertarelli, outsmarted though by Orlando, and that's surely a free kick to Inter.
I haven't really seen Inter as fired up as this for a game for a long time. They really do look up for it, and they've had the most fantastic start, so let's hope they can continue in the same vein.
Forward by Bergomi, looking for Orlando. Bergkamp, though, was there for Sampdoria.
So there's a thing that I never understand with these Italian footballers. Orlando, there was no reason to let Bergkamp out of a very difficult situation, but he did so by fouling him. It's ridiculous. I'm sure Bergkamp would probably have given the ball back to Inter.
Battistini, the goal scorer. Pagliuca. Here's Fontalan, who's been in outstanding form for Inter this season. Played in then by Pagliuca, touched by Sosa, almost got Shalimov in. Bertorelli with a header. But here's Bergkamp, touched off to Pagliuca. Off goes Bergkamp again, that burst of pace. Glorious skill too. Couldn't quite, though, shake off the attentions of Sacchetti. Fontalan. Inter in belligerent mood. Too long, though, for Maniconi, and off scampering away goes Ivani. Hit by Platt to Gullit. Bertorelli's in the middle. Whistles from the Inter fans for Gullit. And a spectacular effort flies wide of goal from Jugovic.
My word, that was a spectacular effort. Gullit didn't need to go past him. He got his little bit of space, whipped the ball in, and Jugovic was very unfortunate that he didn't catch that on the fall, because I think he could have caused Zenga a few problems. Been a great start, though, isn't it? Great start to the game, and I think we've seen the Sampdoria side also that are well prepared to have a go at Inter, which will be should be an intriguing afternoon.
Well, they have had so many successes away from home this season, Sampdoria. Looking for another one today, but facing the early setback of the goal from Battistini after only 4 minutes for Inter. So if you've come in late from the pub, you've missed a goal already. And I'm sure we'll be seeing it again later on. Of course, all the latest news from other games throughout this match, half times and full times as well. And on Tuesday night in Mezzanotte on Channel 4, soon after midnight, highlights of Cagliari against Parma. Parma, the team in 4th place, 2 points behind Milan, up at the top. Here's Ivani for Sampdoria. In towards Gullit. 9 goals from him so far this season, Gullit. And of course they remember him well at Inter. It was Gullit who equalised against Inter late last season to really end Inter's hopes of catching Milan at the top. And he's never been on the losing side against Inter from his time with Milan.
Well, within his range, I would have thought, Peter, as well. This one is about 35 yards, I would have thought, but Gullit really does pack a hammer blow.
Ivani and Bergkamp there as well. Just touched off into the path of Gullit. It was a good strike as well, and Zenga, who was a great pal of Gullit's off the field, saved his team then.
Yeah, I think Zenga realised that he should have let it go, Peter. The ball actually is wide of the post, I think, and
not so sure.
I think it was. I think when he stood up, he had a look of disgust upon his face, where he felt he should have let it go. But it was a good free kick, and Zenga read it very nicely.
One of those perhaps where he couldn't really take the risk, though.
No, I think that's the problem.
And I shan't argue with the man who's been to the Palace this week. Well done, Ray. Congratulations on that. Now, Bergkamp for Inter. Threaded on for Sosa. Great run by the Uruguayan here. Not a bad effort either. Pagliuca beating it away.
We're seeing some stuff, Peter, this afternoon, and they really do look on fire. Inter. That was a great run from Sosa and a superb delivery from Bergkamp. Some really good football. These two guys are really on the same wavelength, and I think we are really reaping the benefit of seeing them play together.
Jugovic. Gullit has continued his run wide of him. Here's Gullit now. Bertorelli in the middle. Platter got forward too. Away by Bergomi to Sosa. Really gifted player, Ruben Sosa, and he's found Fontalan here. Inter pressing again. Away from Sacchetti. Pagliuca. Fontalan again. Bergkamp lurking in the middle. Manini, though, was cool. Here's Ivani. Plenty of whistles for the ex-Milan man, Ivani. Massimo Pagliuca taking the throw, keeping out Ferry today. There was a feeling that Ferry would be in the starting lineup, but Bagnoli has preferred instead Pagliuca, who, the man on the ball here, had been suffering from a knee injury, but presumably has recovered sufficiently from that.
He should be a very pleased young man, Pagliuca, Peter, because Ferry is really and truly an excellent footballer, a great man-to-man marker, but Pagliuca has had a superb season, and it's nice that Bagnoli's shown the faith in it.
Great turn there by Bergkamp. Trying to curl it beyond Pagliuca, but another moment of skill then to admire from the Dutchman.
He's on fire, Peter, isn't he? That was excellent football. Obviously, I think having Ruben Gullit on the opposition, he's really fired him up as well. He obviously wants to show that he has a rightful place in the Dutch side and is the #1 man.
Bergomi. Now Gullit underneath this one. Looking for David Platt. He was just brushed aside at the last end by Massimo Pagliuca, to the relief of Walter Zenga.
I thought David might have smashed that on the volley there. In the finish, it's very good defending from Pagliuca, but it was a good ball from Gullit. I think David may well be thinking that he might have hit that on the volley.
He's won it back now, and then he's lost out again. Maraconi on for Fontelan. This is Pagliuca, Antonio Pagliuca. Fontelan with Sosa. Really on top of their game at the moment. Inter more danger here. Bergkamp couldn't finish it off, and away goes the loping figure of Lombardo.
It's great to see Sosa in this sort of form as well, because I thought at times against Norwich in the week he actually looked disinterested, and he's such a talented guy that when he does perform, we see there he is. He's got immense talent, lovely close ball control, but I thought the other day at times he really just didn't look as if he was up for it, and I find that a bit of a shame with such a talented guy.
Well, he's certainly been on top form in Serie A matches for Inter in recent weeks. Ruben Sosa, 6 goals in his last 6 games. Lombardo with a header. Here's Massimo Pagliuca, the former Brescia defender, younger of the two brothers. Ivani looking for Bertorelli. Totally different type of player, Bertorelli, of course, to Mancini, right?
Yes, that's right. Mancini not only is a great goal scorer and a great forward player, but he also makes a hell of a lot of chances for the Sampdoria side. But Bertorelli is a more of an out-and-out centre forward, and he's going to have a very difficult task today, playing up there on his own, and they're away from home. It's going to be very, very difficult for him to get good ball into him. There we see David's foul on Fontelan. I think you can't really have too many complaints about that one.
Fontelan, who's been back to his best form this season, had a long spell out through injuries a couple of campaigns ago, but such has been his form this term that he was indeed called up by Arrigo Sacchi for the last Italian squad, although he didn't feature in the final 16.
I think the thing that he does have in his armoury as well, and I think you'll see Inter trying to hit these diagonal balls to him from right to left, is the fact that he's an exceptional header of the ball. He's not the tallest man in the world, but he really is a good header of the ball.
Here's Platt. Scored in his last 2 games for Sampdoria in the league, David Platt. Now Ivani picking out Jugovic. Now Serena, who looked to be tumbled then. And the referee says no.
Again, we've seen some excellent technique there as well. We saw a great ball from Ivani, and the little touch from Jugovic was quite exceptional on the volley. But that's something that the Italian players work very, very hard at, is playing the ball off the floor.
Alfredo Trontelage, the referee today. Comes from Turin. Lazio Juventus, incidentally, another big game today. Lazio in 7th place, Juventus up in 3rd spot. The team from Turin. Now here's Orlando. Good effort too.
Excellent effort, Peter. Yeah, he's read the situation. The ball's come back out, and Orlando's onto it like a flash. Nice first touch on the chest, and a good shot to follow.
Orlando, who hasn't scored in the league for Inter this season, but has done a very useful job for them. whether he's slotted in the defensive role at almost left back or down the right as he is today. Bianchi, incidentally, among the substitutes for Inter, still coming back to full fitness. Bianchi, the Italian international. We may well see him at some stage, and also Delano on the bench, as I mentioned earlier. Sosa. Manaconi losing out to Jugovic, the Serb. Ivani, now Manini. One of the markers at the back. Already in a central defensive role these days, Manini, alongside Bergkamp here. 34 years old, Bergkamp. Still such a formidable defender. But here's Manaconi on the break for Inter. Slid on then to Sosa. Great touch off. Bergkamp now. Paganina's gone wide. Bergkamp didn't fancy him there. Manaconi. How's he got through? Oh, Pagliuca with the save. Sosa so nearly on the end of it as it squirmed away from Pagliuca. And well, he's apparently been caught there by Sosa.
It looked a ball as if Sosa had to go for it. The ball looked as if it was on offer, and here we see a fantastic run here though from Manaconi. It's a good shot at the finish as well. Good save from Pagliuca, and on the rebound. No, in actual fact, Sosa, I think, really did try to get out the way of him, and he's tumbled into it. He makes a good recovery there, Pagliuca, and he just can't stop. And he's wearing rubbers as well, which is interesting to note. Sosa, he's not wearing studs in his boots. He's wearing the multi-studs, so it'd have been a lot harder for him to stop. That was some good football, wasn't it? That was excellent interchanging. Manaconi on the burst. Kept very, very strong as he went into the box and still managed to get the ball on goal. It was good football from Inter, who really do look as if they're on fire this afternoon.
Very impressive, isn't he, Manaconi? And they've been missing him. He's been out through injury. And Wim Jonk out as well, so they've had to change things around in the absence of those two. And it was Manaconi who burst through then for the shot, and Pagliuca, it just rolled away from him. A despairing save, and caught by Sosa. That seems to be okay.
I think what he gives them, Peter, Manaconi, is the fact that he's a bit of a workhorse in there for them. A bit like Bonini when he used to play with Juventus and they had Platini and Boniek and the likes of. You need players in there that are prepared to work and really hustle the opposition. And Manaconi is very, very good at it.
Lombardo. Referee waving play on. Foul by Fontelan.
That was great defending from Fontelan. He made a super challenge there on Lombardo. It's very unfortunate to have that given against him.
Here's Lombardo, who had an excellent match in the Genoa derby. Hasn't missed a game for Sampdoria for some 3 seasons now, Lombardo. Looking for Gullit, who was struggling to reach that one with Bergomi. Making sure he didn't climb for it. Very experienced defender, Bergomi. That's Bergkamp marauding up front now. Sacchetti with the header. To Ivani, working so hard for Sampdoria. But not very successfully there, as we reach the 20-minute mark. And an enlightening start to the game. Certainly lit up by the goal from Battistini after 4 minutes for Inter.
That ball rather aimlessly given away there by Battistini. He's got plenty of time. He's got 20 yards in front with no one about, and rather aimlessly given away. And he'd be more advised keeping hold of the ball, because they are on fire, Inter. And I'm sure if they continue to play this way, we'll see a lot more goal-mouth action.
Ivani looking for Serena. Outmanoeuvre though by Shalimov, who's had a quiet start to the game. But we know all about his finishing power. 2 goals last week in the win at Lecce, Shalimov, having won his place back in the side.
Yes, I think he's the closest thing to Nicola Berti that they're going to find, Inter, because he's one of those guys that can burst forward from midfield and break through the middle of the penalty area.
Platt, shot charge down. It'll fall though for Lombardo. 3 Sampdoria players waiting in the middle. Here's Sacchetti. Lombardo. In towards Platt. Paganino was there. As Sampdoria look to apply a little bit of pressure now. Lombardo with the throw. It looks as if Bertorelli is going to have to come off. He was struggling early on. Amoruso, a young man who's been put on the bench today, a 19-year-old striker from the youth ranks, will be the man to replace him. So an unexpected chance for him. Not a player, Ray, we know too much about, I'm afraid.
No, that's right. It's a shame as well Bertorelli's having to come off because he doesn't get too many starts. And that's unfortunate for the young chap that he's had to come off after such a short time. We've only been playing about 22 minutes and he's actually had to leave the field, which is quite sad.
Big day then for Nicola Amoruso. Serena's cross. Now Lombardo to hook it back again. Under threat though from Antonio Pagliuca.
It was a very good defensive block there. I didn't actually see who it was, but as the ball came in, the Sampdoria player got his head there first, but the defender was marking him so tight that he actually managed to get the second header on it, which was good defending.
Pagliuca. Away by Sacchetti, not too far though. Here's Sosa. Now Lombardo. Trying to get something started for Sampdoria. Gullit's challenge. Away by Bergomi, his marker. Lombardo.
What a touch from Lombardo. That's what it's all about. The first touch of the ball, and that was an excellent bit of control.
Played in then by Gullit. Just too long for Amoruso. Another injury to be dealt with.
Yes, I think Paganini it was. Amoruso a bit over anxious trying to get the ball and actually need him in the back. But it's interesting to note when Ruud Gullit moves forward into the penalty box, it's Bergomi that actually ends up picking him up. Bergomi's taken it upon himself, being obviously an excellent man-to-man marker, to pick him up as the further he goes forward.
Zenga, who has conceded a few goals in the last few matches, having had a lot of clean sheets early on.
Still a class act though, Pete. He pulled off some super saves last week at Lecce, didn't he? He made some excellent saves.
He's actually let in 8 in the last 5. And of course Inter have had a fair amount of readjusting to do at the back with their injury problems. Foul then by Sosa on young Sacchetti, an Italian under-21 international. Ivani finding Lombardo. Now Sacchetti, who has a license to go forward in this Sampdoria system, and he's doing that now. Battistini with a header away. Lombardo. Now Sacchetti. 20 minutes of the first half to go. Lombardo. Blocked in by Fontelan. That's a goal kick.
That's great defending from Fontelan as well. Lombardo's a tricky old customer out on the right wing, but Fontelan defended excellently there. Stood on his feet, actually pushed him further and further to the line as he could get him, and then made an excellent challenge. Very good defending from a forward player.
Zenga here, who's been troubled by a recent wrist injury, but seems to put that behind him now. Fontelan with a header, not quite where he intended though. Now Gullit, cut out by Shalimov, who hasn't ventured forward too much so far. Way by Sacchetti, and the flag's up for offside. Ruben Sosa, the player who was caught.
I suppose when you see Inter performing as they are this afternoon, it really does put the Norwich performance into perspective. Norwich really did play well to dominate the game for such long periods, and against such a very talented side, it was a really remarkable effort.
Manini. Ivani. Wide then to Serena, who was always struggling to get that one in play. Serie in the side because of the injury to Rossi, who'd settled down in the left-back role. But Serie more with a midfield position in this side.
Yeah, he seemed to have solved the problem, Rossi, didn't he, coming into the left-back area? He looked a very, very impressive player, but we saw him limp off a couple of weeks back with a hamstring problem, so that was a bit of a shame.
Fontaine. Here's Manicone. Steered wide to Pagliuca, searching out Sosa. Bit of a tangle at the back among those Sampdoria defenders, and Bergkamp way over the bar, but there's certainly a lot of confusion among the Sampdoria defenders.
Yeah, they look petrified, the Sampdoria defenders there. Sosa, who was very intelligent, he didn't get involved, he just let him sort of mess around with it himself, and they were just looking for the knockdown, and it was Bergkamp, who's been a bit quiet in the last 5 minutes, who blasted it over the top.
Sampdoria certainly coming more into things now. This is Ivani, a lot revolving around him. Just too long, though, for Amoruso. Who is 19 years old, as I mentioned earlier on. It's his first start in Serie A. Well, he's not a start, he's come on as a substitute, but first game he's featured in. Born in Foggia, Ray, I expect you knew that.
No, I didn't have a clue, actually, Peter. I'm sure it's a nice place to be born.
Manicone to Bergkamp. Orlando. Shalimov. Measured approach play again by Inter. To no avail this time. No foul on Shalimov. Off goes Serena. Amoruso laying it off. Serena, that was checked by, I think, Shalimov. And got an arm or an elbow in the face.
Poke him in the eye, Peter, as he went past it. Oh, it's Manicone. It did look as if he punched him as well.
Meantime, here's Fontaine with a chance. And it's an own goal. Orlando going in. I'm sure that came off a Sampdoria defender. 2-0 to Inter. And another big blow for Sampdoria's hopes. Orlando, who arrived at the far post. Let's see exactly how it went in.
Yeah, it was a good ball from Fontaine, but it was also a good challenge from Orlando. He put the defender under enormous pressure.
Well, either off Jugovic or off Orlando.
Yeah, I think it was Jugovic who put it in at the last touch. Davide Fontaine does very well. They expect him to go on his left side. He is very left-footed, but he clips in a nice ball, misses the first defender, and there's Orlando in on the back stick, putting Jugovic under too much pressure, and he's put it in his own net. But I think that's all that Inter deserve. They've been absolutely super this afternoon, playing some good football, very intelligent and nice and bright.
A real test now of Sampdoria's resolve. 2 goals down. Time for the second goal, 28 minutes. Sacchetti with the throw, Gullit. Well, just when it seemed that Sampdoria were having more of the game, they suddenly suffer this second body blow. Still some debate about whether it was an own goal or credit to Orlando. I think in the stadium now they're saying an own goal. We'll get a confirmation of that later on when the official news comes back from the dressing room. Up in the press gallery, they're saying an own goal. In the commentary box, will reserve judgment. Played on by Orlando, who'll hope he'll be given the goal. It's his first of the season if it is. Shalimov to Manicone. Shalimov again battling for it, but battling too hard.
Yeah, we've seen it many times before, Peter, when the boot is actually raised off the floor. But I actually thought he nicked it well there from Ivani. There wasn't anything malicious there. The ball was there to be taken away, and he just seemed to toe poke it past him. That was a bit unfortunate, I felt.
Bergkamp taking the free kick to Jugovic, who won't mind if Orlando claims the goal, I'm sure. Amoruso, released by Orlando and by Battistini. A really tough baptism now for Amoruso. It was Battistini there who just nicked the ball back to Zenga. Inter, who are so formidable at home, they were the only unbeaten side in Serie A last season on their own ground. And just a one setback this season, and that was against their great rivals Milan.
Yeah, what they do well, Peter, Inter, is that they all work very hard to get back behind the ball when it's lost, and they get their little banks of four, and they sit there and make it very tough for people. There you see them now. You see Bergkamp's dropped off, Sosa's out on the other side, and they'll be sitting in front of their back four, in banks of four, making it very tough for Sampdoria to go through them. You know, the best way for them is round the outside, and they obviously, without Mancini, they lack that inventiveness to really pierce them open.
Sampdoria earlier in the season were 2 down to Milan and came back to win 3-2, so you can't rule them out. But you do begin to wonder how much the loss of Mancini is going to affect them. Here's Sosa. They certainly are missing Mancini's creative skills as well as his finishing power. Shalimov working hard to get the ball back for Inter. Orlando now.
Yeah, we saw some good dribbling skills there from Sosa. He was a bit unlucky with the pass through, but when he got a yard, he cut right across the face of the defender, so it made it very difficult for him to actually get a nick in at the ball. It was an excellent run from Sosa. It was a shame that we couldn't get a better finish out of it.
Sampdoria have been leaking a lot of goals as well as scoring plenty. That's now 20 they've conceded in Serie A this season, which is certainly the worst record among the leading sides anyway. Not too many goals elsewhere so far. Haven't heard of one yet. Manicone. Touched off by Fontelan. Manini, though, with the clearance. Battistini to fetch it for Inter, leading by 2-0. Fontelan, there's Manini. And the whistle's gone for a free kick to Sampdoria. No goals in any of the other games so far, but we have heard Paul Gascoigne is playing for Lazio today in their big game against Juventus. Gazza's back.
That's good news for everybody as well. It's nice to see him back where he rightfully belongs, on a football field. Now, unfortunately, we've seen Paul in far too many places other than a football field, and it's really great to have him back and playing again.
Ivani with the free kick. Hoping to link up with Gullit, his former Milan teammate. And of course we'll see and indeed hear about Paul Gascoigne's return in his programme Gazzetta on Saturday mornings on Channel 4 at 11 o'clock. 10 minutes to half-time. Sacchetti. Ivani. Now Gullit. No, Zenga always favourite to reach that one first.
Yeah, Bergomi just stepped across the front of Gullit as he was going for it. He really is a tough old customer, Bergomi.
It's Bergkamp tangling with Bergkamp, who conveniently got in his way. Two very experienced defenders showing their mettle at either end then, right?
Yeah, it was, Peter. It was the old stager about him there. He wasn't going to let Bergkamp get a free run on goal.
Out by Battistini. Now Gullit, after David Platt's challenge, had been successful. Gullit, who has his free role in the Sampdoria side, and he feels that's why he's playing so much better, rather than being tied to almost a right-wing role when he was with Milan in the last couple of seasons. There's so much to offer Gullit. Ivani doing well. Strike on goal, and away from the target. Hearing about the first goal of the afternoon elsewhere now, as we see here again the shot from Ivani, and it's Genoa 0, Foggia 1. And Stropper, the Italian international, has given Foggia the lead away to Genoa. Foggia are down in 13th place, Genoa just one below them on goal difference. So right game today, 2 so far, both scored by Inter, although one of them may be from Gullit, the Sampdoria midfield player. Genoa have now equalised against Foggia, so it's Genoa 1, Foggia 1, and it's the Hungarian international Detari who has scored for Genoa. Recently returned to Italy from Hungary. Detari, having been with Ancona in the past. Here's Bergkamp for Sampdoria. A lot of hard work ahead of them now today. Ivani slotted wide to Sacchetti. This is Amoruso. Struggling to get in the game really so far. And come on for Bertarelli. Oh, and it's squirted away then from David Platt. Lombardo and Gullit threatening in there as well.
Yeah, Amoruso got in a nice little low ball there, and it was a touch on from Lombardo, but I think it just flew off a bit too quick for David. He couldn't really get hold of that, and, or even swing his boot at it anyhow.
Amoruso to Ivani. Oh, that's neatly done. Tremendous work then by Ivani. Sacchetti with Lombardo. Kick for Sacchetti again. Back off Paganini. Took that full in the face, I think. Sosa now on the break for Inter. There's some pace up here now with Bergkamp as well, but Manini with the interception. And a valuable one indeed for Sampdoria then.
They tried to play the ball very early, Sosa, to catch them out, but he unfortunately played it a little bit too soft. But it was a good run from Bergkamp, nice little diagonal run.
Amoruso, hounded by Paganini. Now, is that a corner? Indeed it is.
They've had their good spell, Sampdoria, haven't they? They've actually got hold of the ball. They've tried to pass it around. Ivani's been very industrious in the middle of the field. And no, it'd be very nice if they could actually get one back before half-time, really whip the game up for the second half.
Here's Ivani then with the corner. Zenga with a comfortable play.
That's not too bad an area in actual fact to hit a ball. Ivani's put a lot of pace on it, he's whipped it in there, but we've had no one getting across the face of the goal to get a flick on with the head.
Sacchetti jostling with Bergkamp. Bergkamp, one of the leading contenders for the European Footballer of the Year title, along with Roberto Baggio and Romario, the Brazilian who's playing with Barcelona in Spain. Baggio, of course, with Juventus. Manicone to Shalimov. Almost threaded a path to goal as well. Pagliuca in a hurry now. Sampdoria desperately seeking a goal to revive their hopes. Jugovic. Now by Shalimov.
It's nice to see Shalimov back in the team. I like Shalimov, Peter. I think he's a super player, and he does give them that little bit extra by bursting through every now and then.
Here's Platt. Orlando was caught then though by Platt. Now Ivani, who has been very impressive in the first half. Sacchetti to Lombardo, away though by Paganini. Time for Manini. The two Paganins combining. It's Antonio who hoofs it clear. Not the best of service though for Ruben Sosa.
The surface again looks quite poor, Peter, doesn't it? There's lots of holes everywhere in the surface, and it's a shame because when you think you have Inter and Milan, they both play there, we would see, I'm sure, this has been an excellent game, but I'm sure we'd even see better football. The pitch was even better.
How much of a problem was that from your days, that you recall?
In actual fact, when I was there, it was in really good condition. But I think it's since a couple of years ago, and just after the World Cup, it seems to have deteriorated badly.
Lombardo with Ivani. Lombardo's pass, asking a lot though of Jugovic. Serena with the throw. Seems to feature in just about every game for Sampdoria, Serena, without actually being an automatic choice. Often comes on as a substitute. Here's Platt. Sacchetti had continued his run. Cut out though by Paganini, who has developed into a very steady and reliable defender, Antonio Paganini. Got his chance really with a long-term injury to Ferry, and he hasn't looked back from there. This is Sosa, caught by Platt.
Yeah, I think we're looking at that. Sosa actually tempted them both in. He didn't have anywhere to go, and he just waited and waited and waited, just nicked it through the two of them. He knew he was going to get a free kick, and over he went. But it's nice to see Sosa more involved. He's a super player, and he really has had a good first half.
Voted last season the best foreign player in Italian football, Sosa. But ironically won't be going to the World Cup finals, of course, as Uruguay have been eliminated. Bergkamp will be there with Holland. Maybe alongside Ruud Gullit by the sound of it, Ray.
A pretty formidable couple. Yeah, both excellent footballers, and if Gullit does decide to play, because Johan Cruyff's taking it back, then we really could see a good Dutch side.
Here's Bergkamp now. Wide of him is Shalimov. To Sosa. 2 minutes of the first half to go. Inter still 2 goals to the good. Manacone, whose prompting has been a feature of the first half. And Fontaine, certainly with his pace up front, has posed many a problem for Sampdoria. Paganini with the cross. Up goes Orlando. Now Sosa. Orlando again. Touched off to Shalimov. That support, but decided to go it alone. Yeah. Nothing there to trouble Pagliuca.
He's always looking to get a shot, Shalimov. He scored a couple of great goals last week, didn't he, at Lecce? And around that box, he's always looking to have a good crack at goal. And he's come into the game the last 20 minutes, Shalimov, and he's been quite impressive.
Did seem to be surplus to requirements at the start of the season, which surprised certainly you, Ray. I know Shalimov. Talk of him going to Udinese as part of the deal that brought Delano here.
I always think when Shalimov's in the side, they look a little bit more dynamic into, and it gives them an extra dimension, I feel.
Now Gullit. Sampdoria wanting some magic from him. Amoruso to Platt. Just wanted too long though, and it didn't reach him. Ivani now. Really would be a fillip for Sampdoria if they can get a goal back by half-time.
It looks a tall order at the moment, Creed. I think Sampdoria scoring. Inter are working so hard to retain possession of the ball, or get the ball back, sorry, that Sampdoria are really limited to efforts such as that from Serena, which is a bit too far, really, to trouble Zenga in the type of form that he's in.
Won by Bergkamp in the air. Amoruso with a header, but Gullit really was on a different wavelength. As we move into injury time at the end of the first half, Massimo Paganini to hoist it up in search of Dennis Bergkamp. Ivani. Laid down by Platt to Ivani again. Now Lombardo from Amoruso's pass. Promising build-up here by Sampdoria. Lombardo to Gullit. Terrific burst of speed by Ruud Gullit, which took him clear of his marker. And disappointment for Sampdoria there.
That really was the most fantastic pass. It was a great run from Gullit, but it was an excellent pass from Lombardo. Great weight to the ball. Gullit was onto it like a flash, and it was their own David Platt there diving through the middle of the goal, just couldn't reach the ball. But that was really, really good football.
Much more like it then from Sampdoria. So, Ray, your thoughts looking back then on this first 45 minutes?
Thoroughly enjoyable. I think it's one of the best 45 minutes, opening 45 minutes we've seen for a long while, Peter. And both sides can take a lot of credit from it. We've seen Inter, especially, have been quite exceptional, I feel. And Sampdoria have really stuck at it, though. They're still in there. They're still in there with a chance. And I'm sure in for a super second half.
Pagliuca with the throw. Bergkamp had shown for him. Battistini, whose goals sent Inter on their way. Manini finding Gullit, but here's Manicone. Orlando up towards Bergkamp. Across came the imposing figure of Bergkamp. Haven't really had too many clear-cut openings, Serie, Sampdoria, really, in the first half.
No, they haven't. I think that, like the last one there with Gullit with that cross, that's about the best possibility they've had.
Sacchetti with the header clear. Only as far though as Paganini. Fontelan.
But I really do feel, Peter, without Mancini, they are really limited in their creativity, and he really does give them so much. Even from dead ball situations, he's so accurate, but he gives them that little bit extra, and I think they miss him immensely just to have his presence on the field.
Oh, Fontelan got away from David Platt. Still Fontelan, that's glorious skill by him. And Bergkamp slicing it wide. Serena charging into the tackle on Orlando, and he has been penalised.
Yeah, Orlando was very aware of him being there as well. He just touched the ball and nipped it back through his legs, and Serena has given a free kick away. There we see it. It's a bit late, the tackle. But Orlando did exceptionally well after a marvellous run from Fontelan, showing some lovely footwork.
And he certainly has been one of the men of the first half, Fontelan. Sosa here with the free kick. Some exquisite skill by Fontelan moments ago. Sosa curling it towards Pagliuca, who had no option there but a fisted away. Dangerous ball curled in by the Uruguayan Sosa. Manini's header finding Gullit. Ivani, Gullit again. Now Gullit almost found Lombardo. That could have been interesting if he'd have been released then. Manicone, Pagani. Deep into injury time, and no sign yet of the referee blowing the final whistle. I can think of one or two stoppages, but not that many.
No, I can't really think of that many, Peter. No, he must be enjoying himself, the ref.
Oh, that's Bergkamp in trouble now for holding back Bergkamp. Getting a ticking off, but no more from the referee, and he's living dangerously here, Bergkamp. Trying to lunge the referee will want another word with it.
I think one of the things Bergkamp has always had throughout his career is electrifying pace, but he's got a guy there in Dennis Bergkamp who is really, really quick, and I think he's causing Bergkamp quite a few problems when the ball's stuck in behind him. And he's had to pull him back there, and he's had a bit of a row with the referee. That won't go down too well with the ref. He'll remember that one for the second half.
Sosa with the free kick. Bergomi has come forward. Bergkamp in there too, and Fontelan at the far post. Out jumped though by Gullit. Gullit to Gullit again. No, Shalimov. Excellent work by Shalimov, but no finish to match. Yeah, Sosa wanted it far post.
I thought he was just waving to him there, Pete.
Well, in fairness, as everybody seems to be saying, Inter have played pretty well so far, even without him. Leading by 2-0. And still some confusion about who will claim that second goal. Gullit doesn't want it, but may be credited with it. An own goal. Orlando, the Inter player who went for the challenge with him. This after Battistini had given Inter an early lead. Gullit playing it forward. Out by Paganini. Gullit again. Gullit stretching but couldn't reach it. And away for the corner.
Yeah, looking at Bertie, Peter, I don't honestly know the guy myself, but he seems a very, very nice character, and a very bubbly sort of character, and a nice fella to have around the dressing room. Even though he's injured, I'm sure he still plays a valuable part within the dressing room.
Here's the corner then for Samp. Taken by Ivani, out by Fontelan. Going as far as Serena. Bergkamp got a foot in. And cleanly claimed by Walter Zenga. Won by Manini. Here's Platt. Sliding tackle and handle then by Serie. Sampdoria were thrashed 4-0 by Milan on their last visit to the San Siro. That was in the last campaign. So they'll be hoping there's no repeat today, but they're certainly up against it with 2 goals to make up. Jugovic. Rather careless pass, though, easily dealt with by Battistini, who was then fouled by the young substitute Amoruso. Battistini, who played in midfield, his old position in the match at Lecce last week. He was converted several seasons ago to the sweeper role. But such has been the extent of Inter's injuries, they had to make the switch. Bergkamp controlled it deftly. Strong challenge, though. And here's Gullit. Amoruso. Now, what support does he have here? Well, he almost linked in with Platt anyway, but now Platt is going through. Zenga with the saving tackle. He was caught then by Platt, but in fairness, Ray, David had to go for that one.
Yeah, the ball was there to be won, and it was a good effort from David. Lombardo just gets a little toe there, and David carries his run on, and Zenga looked a little bit slow off his line, and he just caught one on the shin. But they've started well, Sampdoria, started well in the second half. They look a bit more up for it now. They're working very, very hard, chasing every ball, and that's what they've got to do if they want to find themselves back in the game.
And remember, they have the chance to go top if they can't turn it round in the second half. They also came from behind to beat Torino 3-2 earlier in the season, as well as that memorable game against Milan when they transformed the game. Ivani waking to take the corner. Zenga back in the fray. Manicone. Lombardo. Out though by Massimo Paganin. Sacchetti. And this is Antonio Paganin with the throw. Former Udinese player, and indeed a former Sampdoria man as well, from the early part of his career. Ivani. Spread wide. Serena on for Gullit. On read though by Bergomi. Jugovic, who looked to be clattered then by Orlando's tackle.
He does make a couple of rash challenges, does Orlando, and he did catch Jugovic there, but Gullit really does look up for it. Gullit's everywhere. He wants the ball off everybody, making good runs, and it's nice to see him in really super form.
Yellow card for Orlando. Ivani curling over the free kick. Lombardo couldn't get a shot in, nor could Amoruso. Away by Manicone. Manini then to head it back again. Here's Manicone. Now Ruben Sosa. Fontaine with Manicone. Too easy though for Manini. Sampdoria looking to dictate the play at the start of the second half. Jugovic. Excellent pass from him. Amoruso now. And he's forced a corner. Been a bit more serious. And he found one of his teammates in the middle then. Young man getting this unexpected chance today, Amoruso, with the suspension to Mancini and then the injury to Bertarelli, who had to go off early on for Sampdoria. Ivani's corner. Out by Orlando. Inter being pegged back, but they are so dangerous on the counter-attack. With the pace of Sosa Bergkamp and Fontelan. Ivani. Nothing on for Sosa there, you would think, with Bergkamp to tidy up at the back for Sampdoria. Pagliuca coolly away to Sacchetti. Down by Amoruso, intelligently too. Now Ivani. Onto that favoured left foot. Here's Gullit. Just thought about a shot for a moment. Still Gullit. Ivani. Packed into defence, doing its job though. Well-timed header by Bergkamp. Sosa, surely a foul though on Sacchetti.
Yeah, it's one of those niggling fouls that Sosa often does in the football, and I'd imagine he gets on the opponent's nerves quite a bit, does Ruben Sosa.
Just hearing that Lazio have taken the lead against Juventus. An own goal by Jurgen Kohler, the German international. A shot by Serie that cannoned off him. And we'll have brief highlights of that game in Mezzanotte on Channel 4 on Tuesday night. Full version on Saturday, and the main game on Tuesday, Cagliari against Parma, the night game in Italy this Sunday. Now, Fontelan. Wide to Sosa. Just drifting past the tackle so nonchalantly. Here's Orlando. Manicone. There's Bergkamp ahead of him. This is Bergkamp. And the whistle had gone anyway.
Yeah, I think fractionally offside, Peter. Yeah, Bergkamp. It was a lovely little dummy from Manicone that opened up the whole defence, and as the ball was nicked through, I think Bergkamp was just standing offside. But you see his awareness there, just a little toe poke under the falling body of Pagliuca. It was a good effort from Bergkamp, although he was offside.
He's so alive to potential goal-scoring situations, Dennis Bergkamp. So is this fellow, Ruben Sosa. Well, the foot was high from Sacchetti. He's got away with it. Ivani. Well, he's really at the hub of things, Ivani, but for once his pass has gone astray. But some of his work in midfield, Ivani, has been very commendable. Here's Bergomi, hoping to link with Bergkamp. And Jugovic has it back for Sampdoria. Lombardo now in space. Operating from a deep position. And here's Gullit, who's drifted out wide. Trying to take on Laganin, and that surely was out of play, and it was for a goal kick to Inter.
Showed fantastic pace though, Peter, didn't he, to get away. I actually thought he had a chance to whip the ball in without taking the extra touch. Amoruso looked as if he had made a run into the near post, and he may well have been advised, Ruud Gullit, but who am I to tell Ruud Gullit what he should do, to whip it in first time.
Well, now you've been to the Palace, you can tell anybody anything, can't you? Here's Fontelan trying to wriggle through. Sacchetti with a challenge and a penalty. Down goes Fontelan, and Sacchetti has been penalised. Referee Trentelage has pointed to the spot.
I must say, looking at it the first time, I didn't actually think it was a penalty, but David actually pushes him in the back, David Platt. And I think it was Sacchetti that added the final touch to it. And it's a type of penalty I think the home team would get. And Sampdoria obviously a bit disgruntled at the fact, but nothing's going to change. It is a penalty.
Bergkamp, who had a long discussion with the referee at the end of the first half, continuing his war of words as Dennis Bergkamp attempts to retain his composure, shutting his mind off to all the arguments going on around him.
He looks nervous, Peter, doesn't he? Not a care in the world.
Bergkamp against Pagliuca to give Inter a 3-0 lead, and 3 it is.
Fairly rifled in as well, a bit a la Van Basten, that one. His fellow countryman really did whack it in.
Delightfully tucked away by Dennis Bergkamp for his 5th goal in Serie A.
Yeah, very confident. He's playing well, Bergkamp. He really does look to becoming the finished article now.
His 13th goal in all competitions so far this season. His first, of course, in Italy. And it has put Inter now in a very, very commanding position. News that Juventus have now equalised against Lazio. Fortunato, who scored last week, at least he thought he had. It was eventually put down as an own goal, but this time he has scored for his team. And it's Napoli 1, Atalanta 0. Another own goal there, this time from Poggi. Napoli 1, Atalanta 0. Bergkamp losing out to Sosa. Off goes Bergkamp. Sosa. He's onside. Pagliuca has to rescue his team.
Good defending from Pagliuca, because I think if Sosa could have got half-turned, he'd have probably clipped it round him and back into the goal. But it's a good break from Inter. I think Bergkamp was caught a bit napping in the middle of the field with the ball.
And Sampdoria in danger of having a bit of a hiding now. They've got to commit players forward in an effort to retrieve the situation. Amaruso. Still haven't really stretched Zenga enough in the Inter goal, Sampdoria. Sosa to Orlando. Another former Udinese man. Up towards Bergkamp. Trying to hold off Bergkamp. Here's Manini. Now Bergkamp almost sending Fontelan on his way. It's Lombardo for Sampdoria. They have commendable fighting qualities, Sampdoria. But it's asking an awful lot of them to come back in this game now. Laid off by Platt. Inter, who've won only one of their last 4 matches, but looking very well placed in this game now. Platt to hook it back in again. Maganin wasn't the best of clearing headers by him. Helped out though by Orlando. Now Serie. Here's Bergomi. Coolly away. Sosa with Bergkamp. Ivani a little fortunate. Manini. Right to Sacchetti. Still Sampdoria being invited to come forward, with Inter then hoping to catch them on the break. Ivani slots it on to Gullit. Here's Jugovic. Now Serena, and the shot couldn't get through, and it's squirmed away then from Lombardo. Play on, says the referee. Bergomi with the saving tackle.
Yeah, they defend very deeply to Inter, Peter. Even when the ball's cleared out of the box, they're very reluctant to come out of the box. They don't want to concede any space in behind them for the likes of Lombardo and Gullit to run into. So that's the reason why they defend so deep. They don't want to concede any ground whatsoever behind them. And if the ball's played in behind them, you've got the capable Zenga to pick up the loose ball.
An hour gone. Inter leading by 3-0. Serena away from Manicone. Still Serena. It'll be a corner if it goes. And picked up comfortably by Walter Zenga.
I think you can see the aggression in Inter and the will to win in Inter by just looking at Sosa. I've never seen Sosa work so hard off the ball. When Sampdoria have it, he's putting them under pressure all over the field. He's an excellent footballer on it, but we don't often see him sometimes work hard enough off it, and today he's been an exception.
Manicone. Piacenza have now scored at home to Roma. Piacenza 1, Roma 0. Bergkamp down for Shalimov. Is this number 4? No. Bergkamp got it clear at the last. Desperate defending by Sampdoria.
Great football though, Peter. Again, it was the outside of the left foot from Sosa, ball onto the head of Bergkamp, and it was that run that we were talking about in the first half from Shalimov, right through the middle of the goal, and he was a little bit unfortunate he couldn't put it in the back of the net, but it was a good saving tackle. I can't recall who the defender was, but it was a good tackle.
And resolute defending too by Inter at the other end. Lazio are back in the lead now at home to Juventus. An eventful game there. Alan Moksic has scored for Lazio. I think it's Thomas Dole who's been left out by Lazio to accommodate the return of Paul Gascoigne today.
The referee's he's given a free kick against Zenga in the box, Peter, I think, for taking too many steps. And whether that's a little leveller for the penalty, I don't know, but he's given a free kick against Zenga in a dangerous position for Inter this.
Now, what can Sampdoria make of this? To Zenga, forlorn-looking figure there. Now Gullit hovering around the ball, Ivani too, and Jugovic. The referee still not satisfied the wall is far enough back. Money on Gullit here, Ray.
I wouldn't fancy being in the wall. I think it will be Gullit, Peter, and he's definitely going to definitely hit it on target, I would have thought.
Jugovic is lurking too. Just out of your picture there. Here is Gullit. And harmlessly away for the corner.
That was good closing down there. Two guys that were prepared to put themselves in front of the ball as it was touched by Ivani. That's good shutting down from Inter.
Ivani with the corner. Meantime, Pagliuca has a problem.
I think he's got a big problem. If that's hitting where I think it's hitting, Peter, because it was travelling very hard and it must have taken the wind out of him.
Problems too for Cremonese. They're behind in their away game with Torino. And it's Salenzi again. That's 12 for him this season in Serie A. He's having a marvellous term. Ivani's corner. Jugovic didn't get hold of that though, nor did Bergkamp. Pagliuca, who's made a full recovery, managed to effect the clearance. And it's Napoli 2, Atalanta 0. A second goal there for Napoli, scored by Roberto Pollicano. So some goals elsewhere after a fairly barren first period around Italy. Apart from here. Now David Platt. In goes Lombardo. Sampdoria still camped around the Inter penalty box, but again unable to perforate the home defence. Fontalat helping out at the back. Paganini away.
They're just crying out for that little magical touch of Mancini, Peter, aren't they? They've had a lot of possession in and around the box, but they just can't prise the Inter defence open, which is very tight at the moment.
Almost at the halfway point in the second half. Laid back by Sharamov to Orlando. Bergomi has made the forward run. Now Jugovic threaded on for young Amoruso. Faced by Battistini. He wants some help here. He's found Jugovic.
He's shown great composure as well, young Amoruso, since he's come on. He's very comfortable, obviously very comfortable on the ball, and he's shown a terrific bit of composure there. He's got two defenders in front of him, but he showed that he's prepared to hold on to the ball and keep possession of the ball. He did very well.
Shalimov from Sosa's pass. Maybe trouble looming for Sampdoria at the other end now. Orlando came back off Bergkamp. Into throw.
He's looked a lot more comfortable, Orlando, Peter, hasn't he, playing on the right side. He's been up and down, he's hitting some good balls, and it was a little bit unfortunate that he didn't pick Bergkamp out there.
Here's Orlando again to hook it across. Laid down by Paganini. And Bergkamp. Paganini beaten out by Pagliuca, and now the whistle has gone. Presumably for offside there, but another let off for Sampdoria.
It's amazing the quickness of his mind, this fella Bergkamp. It's a great ball to the back, and Paganini gets up with a tremendous scissor kick. But as the ball came through initially to Bergkamp, he was the only one that reacted. He realised that the ball was going to stay in play, was onto it like a flash, and that was very, very good and quick thinking.
Fontelan losing out though to Ruud Gullit, who hasn't really imposed himself on this game in the way that we know he can. Jugovic making the run. Good piece of skill as well. Lombardo couldn't get a shot in. In goes Serena, but no, Bergomi with the clearance. And the chase is on for Bergkamp. Manini standing cool, and Sosa a bit unfortunate.
He read it very well, Peter. Manini did very well. Bergkamp breathing down his neck, and Sosa read it very well, but he was a bit unlucky.
Great ball then to Lombardo. But across came Massimo Paganini, the younger of the two Paganins. Gullit, supported by Lombardo. Ivani onto his left foot, which is certainly his favourite one. And away comes Orlando. And it'll be interesting to see if Orlando holds on to his place in the interside when Bianchi is fully fit again. Playing today in Bianchi's role, of course, wide on the right. Bianchi, who's been out really since the start of the year, he's featured now and again lately, but clearly still struggling to attain full fitness.
The problem he obviously faces, Peter, is that he's never going to get a game because they only play a practice match perhaps on a Thursday, and for Bianchi to regain full fitness and match fitness, which is more important, he's got to get out there and play. But Orlando's been doing very well, so it's going to be a tough old task for Bianchi, who in himself is an exceptional player.
Lombardo. Now Gullit into the danger zone. There's Orlando back defending now. Paganini away. Fontelan trying to shrug off the attentions of Sacchetti. And he's won the free kick.
Again, an unnecessary foul. You know, Fontelan is actually going back to his own goal. Sacchetti's only got to keep him there, not let him turn. He'd have done his job. His little Salsano coming on now. Really busy little player. I think they'll stick him in there with Ivani to give him a bit of assistance. But he's quite creative, Salsano, if he can get in and around the box. He's got a nice touch about it.
And he's come on for Jugovic. Certainly a very busy player, Salsano, in his third spell with Sampdoria. It goes Bergkamp. Bergkamp, though, getting the better of him. Shalimov's in the middle. But it bounced back off Bergkamp. Oh, and Maniconi obviously struggling there. Now Bergkamp. Amoruso, he's got Gullit wide of him. And he's found him too. Still Gullit. In for Lombardo. Intelligent distribution then by Gullit. Ivani. Faced by a whole posse of inter-defenders. And it's Bergomi who whacks it clear. Across comes Manini. Amoruso. Lombardo. This is Gullit with Salsano. Now Sacchetti. Lombardo. Sacchetti onto the return pass. And he was shepherded out then by Davide Fontelan.
Oh, it has to be said, Peter's really worked hard down that left side. He's not only managed to get up front, but he's also back there helping out. And I just think it really does sum up the difference between the two sides. They're all working so hard together, our Inter, that they just seem to have a little bit too much for Sampdoria.
Goals now in every game in Serie A this afternoon. It's Reggiana 1, Lecce 0. Lecce, the bottom club. Padovano has scored for Reggiana. And it's Napoli 3, Atalanta 0. Pecchia, a young man making tremendous progress with Napoli this season, has scored their third goal. 3-0 here. Sampdoria in desperate trouble. 3-0 to Inter. Lombardo's pass. Platt couldn't control it. Out by Battistini. Salsano. Gullit. Foul though by Paganini.
What a touch he's got, though, for a big man, hasn't he, Peter? That's a great touch. He's just let the ball run across his body, got hold of the ball, and Pagliuca has pulled him down. But he does show a remarkable touch for such a big guy.
5 goals in his last 6 games, Ruud Gullit.
Yeah, it was a great turn. He just allowed it to run across his body onto his right foot, dragged it through with his left, and Pagliuca had come around the wrong side of him and just had to pull him down.
It's actually his best tally, 9 so far, Ruud Gullit, in the season. That's equalled his highest Serie A total, that from his first season with Milan. But he hasn't had too many sights of goal, really, today.
No, he hasn't. He's been playing sort of right-ish, and it's a good ball in from Ivani. Platt makes a great header, and there's Zenga with Gullit chasing in on him, makes a very, very good save in there, very brave save.
Sosa. Lombardo's header through. It's safely on to Walter Zenga. Now 33 and still regarded as one of the best in Serie A. Maybe not now in the eyes of Arrigo Sacchi, the Italian national team coach. Certainly behind the man at the other end, Pagliuca in the queue. Lombardo out by Paganini. Not the best of clearances by him, though. Here's Gullit. Didn't fall for Lombardo. Amoruso couldn't keep his shot down.
Yeah, he was a bit unlucky. He took it well on the turn, did Amoruso, and just a little bit of over-anxiousness, I think, when he hit it, and it's just gone a little bit too high. But he's done well, Amoruso. He can be delighted with his performance. He's worked very hard up the front. He's shown a nice touch, and he brought other people into the game. He's done very well, shown a lot of composure.
Bergkamp with a free header. Here's Salcedo. Has an excellent touch. Platt. Now Ivani, who has been very influential for Sampdoria today, but hasn't really created enough chances. Whereas Inter have taken certainly 3 of those to come their way, and have posed other threatening moments as well. With Salcedo taking over. Certainly wouldn't think, from the balance of possession in the second half, that Sampdoria were 3-0 down.
No, you certainly wouldn't, Peter. I think Inter would be delighted to see where Gullit's decided to play himself, because he's playing very deep. He's not getting in the penalty box. OK, he's passing the ball around very nicely, and he has looked very good, I think, this afternoon. But at this moment in time, being 3-0 down, I think that Inter will be delighted to see him playing as deep as he is.
Salcedo. Now Gullit. Here's Ivani. Serena to Salcedo. Well determined defending, though, by Bergomi. It's a pretty rugged character. A very impressive defender. Lombardo.
I think that Bergkamp does so well, Peter, sorry there for butting in. He knows his limitations. He's a super defender. He knows he's not brilliant on the ball, so he passes it nice and simple. And I think that's a sign of an excellent player, when you can know your limitations and know exactly what you're capable of doing. I think he's only 27, I think, Peter Bergkamp, which is quite incredible when you think how long he's been about.
Was in the World Cup final, of course, back in 1982, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
18-year-old. So he's a bit older than 27.
Yes, quite true.
Where he's gone to add it up now.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about that.
Here's Gullit. Breaking for Sampdoria. Support inside him from Salcedo. Ivani. There's Orlando, though. They really are working tirelessly to win the ball back, Inter. And now they have been penalised. Oh, shutting off unhappy. Free kick to Sampdoria.
He's 29, Peter.
He found it out a bit. He's got notes all over the desk here. Ivani to take the free kick. It goes Gullit. Now Sosa defending with Fontelan. Lombardo gets the luck of the bounce. Gullit always on the end of it, just hooked away then by Battistini at the last.
Oh, he did well, Battistini, didn't he? That was a very difficult ball for him to hook away as well. It's come around the back of him, and we see Lombardo put it in. It comes around the back, and he just manages to swing it away as Gullit nearly takes one in the face.
Really isn't Sampdoria's afternoon so far, and it's hard to see them turning this one around. And Atalanta certainly won't away to Napoli. They're now 4 down. Policano has scored his second of the game for Napoli. Sacchetti for Sampdoria. Still 3 goals behind. On from Amoruso, up goes Lombardo. So too though did Battistini. Then Lombardo with a shot, and it's deflected wide for the corner.
Yeah, that's about what they've been limited to, Sampdoria, because of the way Inter have played. They just stay fast on the edge of the 18-yard box, and it's the snapshot and the deflection that they're hoping could break the Inter defence.
Lombardo, who's scored twice in previous live games on Channel 4 this season. Ivani with the corner. Orlando too easily dealt with, but Serena to hit it back through. Not a bad effort either. Yeah,
it was well worth the effort, but Ivani was still standing out by the corner flag. I think he may well have been advised, especially on his swinger, the old right foot, to knock it back out to Ivani. Had it been on his left side, then all well and good, but it was a bit ambitious.
Foul by Fontelan. Bergkamp taking the free kick quickly, albeit from the wrong place. There's Platt. Now Gullit. Shackled by Pagliuca. Lombardo looking at the far post to no avail. 10 minutes to go. Ivani for Sampdoria. Lombardo. Sosa, no. And that just about sums up the way things are going for Sampdoria today.
Yes, that's right. Lombardo cut in from the left, played it into Sosa and continued his run into the box. I think he thought the little fellow was just going to knock it over the top for him, and he was a little bit disgusted when Sosa had a shot, and it was a mile wide. But it definitely does sum up Sampdoria. If one player can be missed as much as Mancini, then Sampdoria really have missed him, because it's been all left basically down to Gullit to do the creating and the scoring, really.
Bergkamp has been penalised. Brought back. Manini with a free kick to David Platt. Now Gullit. Serena. Wide of him as Salsano taking over. Ivani. Now then for Gullit. Looking for a strike at goal. Good one too, as Zenga got down.
That's excellent goalkeeping from Zenga. He's got the ball covered. It's a good shot from Gullit, but he's got it covered. He knows he's not going to touch it, and just ushers it past the post. Good goalkeeping.
They are, as I was suggesting earlier on, good mates off the field, Gullit and Zenga. From their days when they both played in Milan. Now Gullit on for Lombardo. Good save again by Zenga. Perfectly positioned.
Smashing football though, Peter, wasn't it? Great run from Lombardo and an excellently weighted pass from Gullit.
Salsano didn't get hold of that one at all though. Shalimov, then Orlando to Manicone. Inter looking to play themselves out of trouble. There's Lombardo's run again, and what a good stop by Walter Zenga.
Hell of a good save, Peter, wasn't it, with his legs? It was great goalkeeping from Zenga.
Fontelan. Almost assaulted then by Bergkamp. Here's Massimo Pagliuca. Salsano was back though defending. Off goes Ivani. So much of the ball, Sampdoria, especially in the second half, but they haven't really done enough with it. No cutting edge to their game today. Amoruso. Pagliuca got back so well. Amoruso though, showing his perseverance. Lombardo. Chance to cross it in here, and there's Gullit. Up above Bergomi, who did his best to stop him jumping.
That was a good ball in from Lombardo, and Gullit did exceptionally well, and that's where we want to see him. We want to see him in the box. Look at the height he gets, the big man. And Bergomi just makes the slightest of backs for him, and Gullit can't really direct the ball down. But that's where we actually want to see Gullit. And when he's playing out on the wide, he's been playing very well, making some good runs, and his passing has been excellent. He's got in some good crosses, but we really need to see him on the end of crosses, and there we saw it there, and that's a big threat for Inter once he gets in the box.
Pagliuca. News of another goal just coming in. And it's Genoa 1, Foggia 3 now. Stroppa with a penalty. And Berti, the goalkeeper of Genoa, has been sent off. So it's all happening there in the Luigi Ferrara Stadium. In fact, it's 4 now. Brian Roy has added another one for Foggia. Always goals when they play. Amoruso. Bergkamp. That's his 8th of the season, Brian Roy. Here's another Dutchman, Dennis Bergkamp. Tackling with Manini. Still content just to soak up the pressure, Inter, and then endeavour to launch these counter-attacks with the speed of Bergkamp and co. And they have certainly done it to good effect this afternoon. Evani. Wide to Sacchetti, now Gullit. Fontaine in the almost left-back role, which in fact he occupied earlier in the season. Much more dangerous now that he has been pushed forward, in general at least, in the Inter side. He's
done ever so well though, Peter. What he's done, he's come back and doubled himself up with Pagliuca on Ruud Gullit, and he's done well for the side.
Gullit's attempted cross, deflected away for the corner. But some rather dejected faces now among the Sampdoria players. I think they know this one is up. Good news for Paul Gascoigne. He's still playing, Ray. He's still out there on the field, I'm told, against Juventus. They're leading 2-1, Lazio. 5 minutes of this game to go. Sampdoria 3 goals behind. Ivani with the corner. There's a flick on there. In went Manini. Lombardo. Touchdown wide again to Ivani. Gullit was shaping up for the bicycle kick then. Bergkamp out by Massimo Pagliuca. Salsano. Always very skillful, Salsano. That's lovely play by him. Bergkamp will do well to keep that in play. It was over the line. Problem for Fontaine in the Inter side. Maybe for Bergkamp too.
Yeah, I think he twisted badly, Bergkamp, as he went for the ball. He twisted, and twisted 2 ways actually, and may well have done his groin there.
I think you got an injury too yesterday, didn't you? How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I've got a slight knock, but nothing too drastic.
Let's go Amoruso. I suppose at 43 you do expect the odd knock or two.
But of course.
Salsano. Now Gullit, and plucked out of the air by Walter Zenga, who has had an excellent afternoon. Fontaine. Massimo Pagliuca is Lombardo. And the producer has just suggested you ask me to show you my medals. I haven't got any, Ray, I'm afraid. I've got one for table tennis, man.
I'm sure you have, Peter. That was unfortunate. That Lombardo did ever so well. He put Pagliuca under pressure. He got a bad bounce up off the pitch. Lombardo stole it, and again, because the foot was raised slightly, and we've got a free kick situation.
Bergkamp to shut him off. Now Maniconi. Inter, if it stays this way, and it certainly seems that is what is going to happen, will be making up ground, of course, on Milan. They're great rivals up at the top. Sampdoria squandering the chance to take over from Milan at the pinnacle of Serie A. Salsano. No one had gone for that one, though. out and made the run across the box. And they've rather lost their way, really, Sampdoria.
Yes, they have. You can still see them flying around the pitch, trying to make good runs forward and working very hard. But I think they've realised that this game's up for them. Inter have been the more superior outfit.
Gullit. Still getting roundly jeered by the Inter fans whenever he touches the ball. Shalimov on the break for Inter. Fontelan. This is Sosa. First time pass got out by Sacchetti, but only into the path of Shalimov. Bergkamp. Now then to Fontelan. Bergkamp with the header down for Manini. And Inter had only committed a couple of players forward then in support of Fontelan. Tentoni has equalised for Cremonese. Away to Torino, his 8th goal of what is proving an excellent season for him. This is Platt now for Sampdoria. Amoruso hoping to link up with Lombardo. Amoruso swept back to Salsaro. Lombardo. Well, the thought was there, but not the execution. Away by Pagani. What do you make of the situation at the top then, Ray? It's certainly, as I said early on, not a one-horse race by any means.
No, definitely not, and it's nice to see as well. I think a lot of the teams have come back to Milan. It's a shame for Sampdoria. Whenever they get the chance to actually go top, they have a hiccup, and they've had another hiccup today, but been beaten by what I would consider a very good Inter side today, especially in the first half. They played some great football. OK, for the last half an hour, they've actually sat on the lead and not done much as an attacking force, but they've always had the game comfortably won from the first half. But it's nice to see that they're all closing up on Milan. It was getting, although I love to see Milan win it, and I still hope they win it this year, it's nice to see them all getting closer and playing some good football.
Bergkamp. Caught though by Platt.
He's got a touch like velvet, this chap, hasn't he, though? His first touch was brilliant, his awareness was great, he sucked David in, really, and then just a little drag back, and David just had to pull him down, but he really does have a marvellous first touch.
We're now in injury time. Maybe a last shooting chance for Ruben Sosa, who's got an eye on this one. I think he might fancy it from here. He is so lethal from long range. And there is Sosa now. Oh, like a bullet it went through.
Oh, my word, what a shot. You know, he's only a little chap, but he really does pack a bomb in this left foot. Look at this. You know, it's inches away. That's really an excellent must have a fabulous technique, Sosa.
So nearly adding to his tally of 7 goals in Serie A this season. This is Gullit. Good save again by Zenga.
That's brilliant football, that is, from Gullit. Yeah, I've got nothing but the utmost admiration for this chap. He's 3-0 down, and he's world class, he's Gullit, but he keeps going until the final whistle. That was a fantastic run from him, and a very, very good shot, which Zenga did well to save. But I think Gullit really does epitomise what football's all about. He works his socks off, and he really does enjoy his game.
Zenga was actually saying beforehand, I wasn't surprised when, or rather I was surprised when Ruud Gullit left Milan. I've been telling him to do it for years. Wanted him out of the way, I think. But he's been an inspiration for Sampdoria since his move, Ruud Gullit.
I wonder if Milan are regretting it slightly, Peter, as well.
I'm sure they must be. This is Ivani, who's also come into his own again since his switch to Sampdoria. He, remember, only on loan, though, from Milan. But he wanted regular first-team football, regular Serie A football anyway, with the World Cup approaching. Now Bergkamp for Sosa. Away from Sacchetti, or is he? Still Sosa, just happy to hold play up, then bring Paganin into the game. Well, now into time added on for stoppages. There is the final whistle, and in the end a comprehensive win for Inter to enhance their own title prospects They now go 2 points behind Milan after this 3-0 victory. Milan